Hi everyone, this is Danny from Danny with the Planny. I am going to be doing my first ever YouTube haul. So if you are here for the first time, thank you for coming. I am new to the plan with me, so hopefully this goes smoothly. It's not going to be as intimidating as I have in my head. This week is the week of March 27th through February. It says February here. April 2nd of 2023. So this is last year's. But I am trying to finish up the year, my son's first year of his life. And so this is going to finish that out. I'm almost there. This is the freebie if you ordered the Miss Meow kit that weekend. It goes with the kit, so that's really nice. It's in gold. The kit is in gold. Mrs. Meow is one of my favorite, shop owners to buy kits from. I really enjoy the way that she does her full boxes. It's really well thought out, has a lot of fun elements. So I really enjoy planning with a lot of her kits. This is the bottom washi, date covers. Here is the florals. I got 3 of those. This is the kit add-on, decorative kit 2. I have them in reverse order. But here's the second one, and here is the first one. More journaling elements. Here is the alcohol ink swatches, and that is it. The base kit is 4 pages, so if you're just looking to pick up the base kit. And then I also picked up the monthly. I have done one spread already with her monthlies, and so I really like how it turned out, so I'm going to do it again. These are, you can either pick one or the other, and usually you use these in the monthly as a sidebar. I did pick up both in case I wanted to use both. I think I'm only going to use this one, maybe, we'll see. But mostly the main reason I picked this up was because of this. I really love that kiss cut. It was not really a thing within the community, and now it's starting to become a thing for bottom washi. So I'm very excited that that is becoming a trend or something in the community. So I bought that to go with this one, and then this is the last page of the monthly kit. So I hope you enjoy as I start to get into some of my planning and laying down the base. Hey, it's voiceover Danny, and I am here to kind of go over my process and talk through everything to the best of my ability, I guess. So I just want to start off by saying my process when I'm planning is, I don't want to say sporadic, but I kind of do things not necessarily in order, and I will not necessarily finish something. Sometimes that has to do with the process. I will get something started and then realize I can't finish that part out until I finish something else out. So that's a little bit of the process. So first I started off with that bottom washi. It's not, it's washi-esque, but it's the castle, and I got that again from the month kit, and I loved it so much and was trying to figure out where I wanted to place it. When I used the Miss Meow monthly section in my last spread that I did, I had a hard time figuring out where to place it because it's not a full length washi, so it doesn't go both sides. So it is kind of short. But anyway, so I decided to put this one in the middle, and I knew I was going to place the full boxes tilted on either side to kind of cap it off so that you wouldn't notice. I also, in the monthly, it has longer floral sections, and you'll see that I cut these up from the monthly section so that I could kind of tie them all in. And I knew they were going to go underneath of the Panda Bird design garland that she has, the foil garland. So I knew that it didn't need to be perfect and it didn't need to be matched up. I just knew that I wanted some kind of floral underneath. So that's why I cut those out and kind of stacked everything up against each other. Also knowing that the panda bird design, I was going to start in the corners and work my way towards the middle. And again, it wouldn't kind of go the full length. I was going to place something in the middle between the two date cover sections. So one of the things about this panda bird design foiled vines is that it goes really deep into your spread, or like it's really tall. So I tried to find some kind of florals that were peek out underneath of it. And I did talk to Jess of Panda Bird Design a little bit about it so that she knew what my experience was using it, because this was my first time using it. I absolutely adore this idea and whatnot. So she and I have talked a little bit about it. And I think she's going to try to revamp some of it. I'm not saying that I still want to use the current ones that I have, but we did talk a little bit about like the functionality of that. Here's me trying to figure out what I wanted to put in the middle. I had ideas, and then I kind of remembered that I had this simple paper, I don't want to say add-on, but like sheet that I bought that had like a scenic background that I wanted to pull in, because I was going to pull in some of the hot air balloons from that. So I thought it would be really cute to pull that in. And then it kind of would look like you're looking outside the castle window at the scene, as kind of what my thought process was. So I was trying to figure out which one of these windows I wanted to use. And sometimes what I'll do, if it's like transparent matte or just transparent, is I'll put one sticker on top of the other and then kind of shine it up to the light to see if it will match. I don't necessarily have to do that anymore. Jess of Luscious Plans has this amazing idea of using that clear backing of their transparent, and I say there because she is owner of Paper Trail Plans. She's one of the owners of Paper Trail Plans. If you don't follow Jess, please go follow her. She is amazing. She just started a YouTube channel and was a huge inspiration for me getting this going. One of my hesitations for doing Plan With Me's is that I don't do a good job of doing it in order. I am sporadic. I kind of go all around. It's not like this order. Also, it takes me a long time to do the base. So I was like, am I going to be able to talk through a base? You saw me there real quick taking a photo. I will do that because I know like I want to lay it out, and then I take a photo so that I can remember, because sometimes I'm doing this over multiple days. So I want to remember where I had things placed. So I take a picture so that I can refer back to it later. So that was me doing that. But yes, so Jess of Luscious Plans kind of also plans a little similarly to myself, in that she takes a really long time on the base, and like that's the fun part. Like she was saying in her YouTubes, that's the fun part for her, and I absolutely agree. I think that is the part that I enjoy the most. And the day-to-day part of it is also nice, but I feel like the base is where my creativity shines. So that's my favorite part. But it's also like a crazy mad scientist kind of situation where I am all over the place sometimes with how I do things. So I don't know if that I didn't know if that would lend itself to a good Plan With Me. There's other logistical things with Plan With Me's too that I was having a hard time getting my head around. So I'm trying to work all of that out. So we'll see how this all goes. But anyways, so I wanted to point out, if you notice, I was also, so here I am like, oh, where did I want this one? Which one did I want first? So one of the things that I sometimes do is I'll put the backing that I peeled what's it called? The full box off of underneath so that it doesn't lay down onto the paper, because I know that I'm going to be manipulating things quite a bit. So I try to make it so that I don't have to keep pulling it up and down. Although, again, Sadie stickers and shirts are fantastic, and I am constantly pulling things up, and I cannot say enough good things about the Sadie stickers paper. And yes, I do PR for her, but I would buy these if I didn't PR for her. They are the best inserts and like they're the best formatting for me. So anyways, that's a little plug. You can use Danny 20 to save on that if you're interested. So here I know that I am doing a double box in the middle, double sidebar, I guess, technically. So it's called a double center bar. And so I need to stack 2 of my days. So I normally do Monday and Tuesday when I stack. So Monday is going to go on the top part of that column, and then Tuesday is going to go beneath. So I needed to create another kind of vine situation so that all the headers were the same. And then earlier you can see that I pulled the date covers, and I wanted orange because orange wasn't an option. So I saw a swatch, but it was a huge swatch and not the same size. So I just pulled the this week from her date cover section, and I put it underneath of the big orange swatch and cut it out. And because I didn't like the transparent matte swatch that I had, it didn't really match. So that's how I kind of created the swatch. I think it turned out okay. And funny enough, I just watched a Plan With Me with Jess of Luscious Plants, and she did something actually really pretty similar where she put another sticker behind one of the other stickers to kind of help cut it out. It was with her film strips. So I thought it was funny that we both kind of had the same idea, and like I had already filmed this when I watched her Plan With Me, so we must have been doing it at the same time. I absolutely love these Bloom Paper Studios, and there's a lot of shops that have this too, but Bloom Paper Studio was one of the first ones that had these foiled terrible washi. So I have a bunch from her because I had PR'd for her, so I was pulling those in and helped her come up with the idea to foil the washi. So we were able to, I wanted to use those in this spread. I saw this deco piece here, and I really felt like I needed some kind of foil separation so that it wasn't blending into the full box. So I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and then thought about doing some florals behind it, foil florals, and I liked how that turned out. And it kind of went with the florals that were kind of in the corner. So those foiled florals are a little bit see-through, so you can kind of still see the florals underneath on the full box, which I always like to do that. It's almost like I'm foiling those florals that are in the full box myself. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is when I do alcohol ink swatches, I really try to alternate where I'm putting the colors down. So if you notice, there's pink in the book, the first full box, the one that has the book in it. And so I put pink with the floral full box there, and I just try to rotate it around. Also, I used scrap transparent matte alcohol ink swatch there to cover it up because I didn't want the white background, and I knew that the foil would cover up most of the mistakes. So that's a little tip too. If you're going to layer something else over top of it, especially if it's something that's foiled, you can kind of layer scraps of foil on top. Additionally, I like to put deco or foiled deco in between a lot of the like overlapping spaces on my full boxes. So that way it can kind of cover up some of the gaps there. I don't always do it, but it's just a tip that I kind of do to kind of help make it look a little less, I don't want to say wonky, but like sometimes I feel like the angles can be really hard or harsh, maybe is a better word. So by putting some of the deco, it kind of softens it up and makes it look a little bit more organic. Sometimes I'll put florals there too, just as a, and I think you may have seen that I tried to put a floral in there, but the shoes I liked, but I wasn't exactly sure because the shoes also created a little bit of a white space there as well. So I think I was a little hesitant on that as well. I usually put the lining down pretty like last, as I try to save it for last so that I'm covering up any of the spaces that are noticeable. And I feel like by me pulling up the full boxes constantly, it moves those liners around a lot. So the full box liners or frames. So I try to save that for last so that I'm not messing with those too much. But you'll notice I try to also bring in some musical notes as well that are separate from the terrible washi that I was using, just to kind of continue with that theme. I think this is a better example of me trying to alternate transparent alcohol ink swatches with the full boxes so that it kind of spreads them all out. And I also don't know if you've noticed too that I will cover up the full box with one of the backings so that I'm using the transparent matte more sparingly, just because I was wanting to use that transparent matte sheet, alcohol ink swatch sheet. So I wanted to use only that and tried not to pull any of my own in, just because I wanted to like test myself out and see if I was able to just use one sheet. So that was me trying to be sparing with some of mine. And I do that normally with my other transparent matte as well. By transparent matte, I mean alcohol ink swatches. So anyways, that by also putting the deco on too, like in the corners, it can save some on having to use the liners. Like you don't have to use all the liners. And that was just something that I picked up before the full box frames became a thing and I was just using dividers. So it was really kind of time saving in that aspect. I don't know if it's still time saving because there's a lot of those L-shaped ones, but some of the shops have also come out with just longer side, the vertical ones that go the full length of the full boxes. So that's nice. Sadie, the ones that I was using in this one are Sadie stickers. So she has some of the L's and some of the vertical lines as well as the horizontal ones. So that makes it really nice. I added in some sparkle just like here and there, just to kind of, I don't know, add sparkle. You know how we like to do. Moving on to the other side, again, a lot of that kind of process. This one, I wanted it to go in between two, so I put the backing on both full boxes so that it was not using up the whole sheet. A few tools that I'm using that I feel like are semi-new. One is that bone tool that presses down the alcohol ink swatches. I love that tool so much, and I love like the satisfaction of watching the transparent matte become like more visible. It's so gratifying. So I have on my Instagram, I have links to some of the tools that I use. I need to update it because there are a few new tools that I've started using that I have not included. Sometimes I like to make sure that I like them before I put them on. So, but if you're ever interested in some of the tools that I'm using, you can always go to my Instagram and click on the link in my profile and it will take you to some of the tools that I use. But a new tool that I wanted to test out, and I actually really started testing it out, and this one is those tweezers, the black ones. Those are reversible tweezers, and they're pretty cool. It's a little bit trippy because they're reversed. So they're always closed. I guess let me start with that. So they are always closed. They in their resting state, they are closed. Where regular tweezers are open, as you can see on the screen. So the reverse tweezers, you have to press together in order to open them, which makes them really nice for like holding back some of the full boxes. You saw me do it several times already. Or holding back just whatever stickers you want. So like I'll hold the sticker, place it where I want, and then like let it hold on to it in the resting state where it's closed. And then I use my other tweezers to kind of pull in the other elements that I want. It is very trippy for me to use it because like I'll have the sticker in the tweezers, the reverse tweezers, and then I'll go to like lay down the sticker and I'm like, why isn't it letting go like I'm used to? And it's like, oh yeah, because it's in its resting state. I need to release it. So anyways, so those are really handy and I am really liking them. It's just going to take me a bit to get used to like thinking of it in reverse. And then one other thing that I have been using more so recently, or right around the same time I started using the bone tools, so it's been a couple months, is the palette knives or paint. I should look it up, but those knives that you see with the that I kind of lift some of the stickers up with. It's on the right hand side there. I've kept forgetting to bring my better one, the one that I prefer, back into my filming space. I have like a planning space and a filming space, so that the knives are helpful for picking it up. That one in particular is not as helpful as my favorite one. I think I bring it in later. I finally remember. But anyways, yeah. So I do a lot of fiddling with the frames and layering. It's a lot of little stuff that probably most people don't even recognize or notice, but I do. So I like to kind of do all the little things. Sometimes I think it's the details are in those, or like I don't know. The saying "the devil's in the details" kind of comes to mind, but like I don't know whether that's a good saying or a bad saying. But like I think the details matter sometimes, so I just kind of make it so that it's what I want, I suppose, and that's what it's about. It's my planner, my spread. So, anyways, this I had a bit of a hard time with. I obviously didn't want to keep that long stretchy thing, or the what would be called a stem, not stretchy thing. And so, but I wanted that leaf to go behind it. And then I had a really hard time finding florals that I liked that matched. So I have made this plea, and I do think I've like since this I've hauled some of the florals from Paper Trail Plans, and I think Sadie Stickers might have actually been my last haul that I just uploaded. It was like a live. Anyways, they have some florals in there, but I am constantly wanting more floral options, I suppose, with either like these vines or leaves or different kinds of florals for different seasons, because they go with everything. They go every season. We have florals in our kits. And so it makes sense that you would want foiled versions so that you can do layering like this or foil your own boxes or whatever. So I am making another plea for shops to continue making them and to bring out more in a variety, seasonally even. So here I am just kind of sprinkling some of those musical notes, trying to mimic whatever I did on the first half on the second half so that there are sparkles everywhere. I also try to change up the deco because if you may notice or may not have noticed, there was like the cake on the right in the full boxes on the right side. So I used the cake on the left side. And then there was a foiled umbrella on the left side in that ottoman one down on the bottom. So I felt like okay using the umbrella on the right side. I don't know if that matters to anybody else or if that bothers anybody else. If it does, like you try to like envision that when you're planning. I hope I'm not the only one that does that. But let me know down below because I'm just curious if anybody else feels that way as well. This is one of the reasons why I try to do the foil at the end, is because like part of it came off. See, like when I was lifting it up. I hate when that happens. Especially when it's a little piece like that, because then it's like, did I ruin the integrity of that little sticker? And it's no longer going to stick. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Okay. I am almost done with full boxes. Somebody recently asked me how long it takes me to do a spread nowadays. I will say it probably takes me, I want to say 3, but I know it's probably more like 4 to 5 hours. It is a good week. If I'm focusing on doing the kit, it'll take me at least a week to do it. Um, I do it in chunks. Jess of Lustrous Plants also talked about this. So I will lay down the base, and that usually takes the bulk of my time. So that's like a good hour or 2-ish. And then I will do the days of the week, and I do that with, like, I put down the boxes first, and I'll put florals down or whatever layering pieces I'm going to do within the week. I'll go ahead and do that then. And then later on, I normally put the icons down. And usually I put the icons down while I'm sitting on the couch, just chilling with my husband after the kids have gone to bed. So I have binders with my icons. So I have a foiled binder with um, for each color. So I have a silver one, a gold one, and a rose gold that have most of my Craft by Towie or JK Create Co. icons in there. And so I'll bring that one over. And then I have my White Deer stationery and I think Hello Petite paper is in there, some too. And then like whatever else icons that I have that are of that style, I guess non-foiled, go in that one. So I'll bring both those binders over, whatever foil color. So in this case, it would have been gold and the White Deer stationery. And I'll sit on the couch and I look at my plans that I have and I just fill out the icons that way. So here you'll notice that because this is not extended washi, I have to figure out a way to make it look like it's extended. So a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of the kits don't have matching torn washi. So I find myself having to either create something or find something in my collection where I am trying to do one on one side and one on the other side. So I had Hello Petite paper ones that I pulled in, and then I felt like they seemed, I don't want to say boring. Well, one, they did not go the full height, so that's why I added in the florals behind it so that I could increase the height. And then I felt like they needed something more, so I added foil, and that took me forever. I cut out half of it because I was like, they don't need to see me put down all these stickers. But yes, I spent so much time doing that. But I like the way it turned out in the end. Okay, so part of my idea for this was to put in like the double center bar was to put the hot air balloons in. So like going across the castle or the wall or whatever. So I pulled in these clouds from Paper Trail Plans, and they also have foiled clouds, and I like that sheet because it has all the sizes on, so you can create depth within your spread there. So the smaller ones might be looking further away. I also thought that they matched more of the sizing of the castle down below, but the bigger clouds that are foiled up by the hot air balloons seemed like bigger ones would be more appropriate for those. So I just tested out a few, but the backing of the simple paper that I have that had the hot air balloons and that scene that I used up at the top had a clear backing. So it's similar paper. There it is. There's a clear backing. I was so excited when I got that. So that is what Jess uses for her, like lately, if you go watch her videos, that's what she's using. And I am so excited that I didn't even finish that sheet from Simple Paper. But I peeled all the rest of it off and put it on the backing of something else so that I could use it, because I was so excited when I saw Jess doing that. I was like, this is genius. I need this in my life, because you can literally put it down and see where you're putting the sticker. It's so smart. I love this idea from Jess. So thank you, Jess. Because constantly I will like put paper up to the light to like see through, and you can't do that on the planner. So this is just great. So I'm super excited about having that sheet. I need more of those clear backing things in my life. Anyways, so this part of the spread, I know that I have to mark Holden's week. Like, I started marking the weeks that how long he's been alive, but I also got to reuse my pregnancy stickers. So because I had so many of them basically, so I was reusing them in here, but wanted to create like a box situation so that I could put down, yes, and there it is. So Holden is 41 weeks old. It doesn't say old, but in my head it does. And then I put the little Bubba icon down there as well. So I did those whole frame things for him down in that bottom section, because normally I put that on the sidebar. And towards the end, once I started getting past the 40 weeks, even like approaching 40 weeks, I stopped marking it twice in my spreads. I would mark it on the sidebar, and then I would mark it on the Saturday, because he was born on Saturday, which also he was born on his due date, which I just feel like is a crazy thing. Not very many kids are born on their due date. So I just thought that was pretty remarkable, but also it just made it really consistent for me marking down. Like, so I was marking my pregnancy weeks on the same day, which was Saturday, and then he was born on the Saturday that he was due at 40 weeks. So but anyway, so I stopped double marking his age, and like in the story bar and on Saturday, and just have started doing it in the sidebar, so that way and I don't have to mark it in the planner. So here, a lot of my strategy with putting down boxes are box. I always have a hard time saying boxes. It makes me think of like the full boxes, but in this case, that I'm doing the day-to-day, so that I'm saying boxes as in like these boxes that we're looking at. So I try to go down the column and try to think of the color of the box and then the shape of the box, and if there's any kind of fanciness going on with the box. So one of my favorite boxes to use is just like the simple line. So that was up at the top, and it was an orange. And so if you noticed, I rotated through the 4 colors of the kit and went down. I used a circle and I used a lace. So I used kind of all 4 options kind of in my head. I used them, not all 4, but like I used a shape, I used a lace, and I used the simple boxes. So I used them within that section. So then going on to the next side, I kind of do the same, but try not to place too many of the same. So I put the purple there because the pink is in the circle. So I try to be very aware of where I'm putting each box so that there's a little bit of each color in each of the columns. I also have to take into account the alcohol ink swatches that are there too. So the orange made sense in that space between the full boxes. And I didn't want to put an orange at the top of this one. So it does take a little bit of like finagling to figure it out. But sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. I do find one of my hardest things is when a tilted box goes into the side like this and doing what would normally be a horizontal box vertically. I have a really hard time with that. So I'm putting down another circle one. These scallops are some of my favorite. The scallop circles that Miss Meow does are some of my favorites. So I try to be consistent with pulling them into like every other day, because there's usually only 4 of them. Here is a little foil wiggle to show you guys before I move on to the next side. You'll notice that I am going to kind of look to see where I have colors of things so that I am spreading out the colors in this box. Because I did a double center bar, I don't have to look at the previous page as much. Like I do kind of refer back to it, but I don't feel like I have to kind of, I put a circle here, so I can't put a circle over here, or an oval like on this column. There's enough separation with the double center bar that I feel like I don't have to. Here I was looking back at the first half and realized I had a square that I put a swatch underneath that I wanted to match that with this side as well. Here's me recognizing that this is not spaced out right. And I think I even end up moving the diamond or square box up as well later on. One thing I wanted to mention is my florals. When I'm choosing florals for a box, I really try to look at the different flow of each of the florals. And that is a word flow that I use a lot. And I got that word from Lauren of Plan Mush Plan, who was a huge inspiration for me going through my planner journey once I came over to this side of the planner community. So I think I was doing it subconsciously, and then when she explained it in one of her videos, I was like, yes, that is exactly how I think. But sometimes you'll have like a leaf or a flower that kind of mimics the flow of a box, and that is what I look for. On Saturday at the bottom, in a little bit, you'll notice that there is a part of one that kind of does the same curve as the circle box that I end up using, and that is my ideal. So I try to also think about where the icon is going to sit within those florals. So it's just kind of you have to pre-visualize because I don't do the icons until later. It just helps with my process if I can get all of this done first and do all the boxes instead of like trying to pull in the icons. It just slows down the process in my opinion. So that's why I try to hold off on that. I recognize that it is April 1st and April Fool's Day. And so I put in the April 1st and I used one of the deco pieces from this kit. And then going on to Sunday, I have this realization that it's kind of bare down in the bottom right-hand corner. And I wanted to bring in that castle deco. I really love that castle deco. And I wanted to figure out a way to incorporate it. However, I also kind of recognized that it was a lot larger than what I probably needed. And so I was able to cut it in half, but also still use it. So I was excited that I was able to do that. I also recognized that I needed to add some swatches of color in here. So I brought in the alcohol ink. You can see some of it was like cut in half, but because I knew I was going to put that box over top of it, that it didn't really matter. Sometimes you can do that and get away with not having a full sheet or not full sheet, but like a full alcohol ink swatch. Here, I kind of rounded out the corner of that so that it looked more natural for an alcohol ink swatch in that spot because it was more of a hard edge. Something else you can do sometimes with alcohol ink swatches is kind of create your own shape. I don't think I figured that out until later, so that's why I'm just sharing that tip with you all. I start to realize I would like some kind of foil down by that castle, so I am looking for something to put into that piece. This is one of the reasons why the terrible washi is so amazing. Literally, you can put whatever size you want in that space. So this is a little wiggle, so you guys can see kind of some of the details, hopefully. Pretty pleased with how this turned out. I know it's my kit, and so I should be, but sometimes I don't know, you lay stuff down and you're hoping for something more, but this one I was very happy with the outcome. I wanted birds in this, and that's why I'm coming back now and didn't do it earlier. I could not find my birds. I could not for the life of me find where I had put my birds. I ended up finding some in my summer collection, but I know I have some in my regular foil collection because birds you can pull into lots of spreads, and I know that I think that way. So I was thinking I would do that. But anyways, found them, was able to put them in. Here I am adding in my icons. I think I told you guys, I just want to do it the way that I'm most comfortable. So it is the last thing that I do. I like the florals peeking behind the computer there, the laptop. So I just move those down and it still gives space up above for the writing. Here's where I talk about making leaves and stuff kind of flow around. So even though the original floral bunch was there, I wanted to add more, make it extend further down. So I did that. And I even cut up the leaf a little bit. I don't know if you saw that, so that I could wrap, quote unquote, wrap around the planner, bring a little bit more of color. Again, that's one of those things I don't think anybody else notices, but I like the way it looks. So I do that. Yeah. I don't know if I should talk about the day to day, but yeah. So I had, sorry, I was like, where is my day to day? So I had a meeting that day on Monday and then did some planning. Holden's not birthday, but 10 months old. And then I played with him in the evening. We played some blocks and stuff. And then I had there was some activity at the school on Wednesday that I wanted to mark. So I left that there. Won't go into details just because it's private about the school. Wednesday, at the end of the day, I planned after that stressful day. I had an IEP meeting that stands for Individualized Education Plan, which is part of my job as a special education teacher. Is I create those for students. So that was on Thursday, and then I did some more planning Thursday night. Friday, I have a Starbucks run and then a resource room meeting. It's like my department meeting. And then we had happy hour on Friday. On Saturday, it was Hello April. We went to the zoo. And then I got a new controller on Sunday, which was cool. And then I finished out the week with planning. This I wanted to show you guys is my paper trail plans where I'm writing down the scripts that I want. So you guys should also do that if you find that you don't have things as you're going. So I have a running list. So the next time they do their scripts, I will know what I'm getting. Because I do the double center bar, I do have to punch out the holes in order for it to fit. So just know that. And then I'm going to do a pan over of this. I hope you guys enjoyed my very first plan with me. Thank you guys for bearing with me. If you guys have feedback, let me know. But I really hope you enjoyed my process. It's a crazy one, but also it's kind of just sometimes how my brain works. It's kind of scatterbrained. I get it all done in the end. It's just a mess getting there sometimes. But anyways, I really enjoyed this kit. I liked the theme of like the castle and all that. So anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day and I will talk to you all next time. Bye guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. Here are some other videos you can watch. Hope you enjoy.